Valenciaport is the sixth largest port in Europe in terms of volume of traffic, and it is also the top import-export and transshipment port in the Mediterranean. Valenciaport is the ideal maritime gateway to and from the Iberian Peninsula. In addition to being Madrid's natural port, its hinterland extends into many other Spanish regions. Valenciaport has an extensive network of connections with the world's principal ports. The information flows in and around Valenciaport are highly complex and involve numerous different players. Handling goods requires multiple communications between the members of the port community, thus creating a complex information network. By means of its open electronic platform, Valenciaport.pcs.net, Valenciaport is able to ensure the secure exchange of information between public and private organizations, making the port community more competitive. The Valenciaport Foundation actively collaborates with the port community, which includes public and private stakeholders, and it identifies European and national regulations applicable to port operations and customs procedures, as well as problems and bottlenecks which affect the efficiency, performance and quality of service of maritime transport. This improves the competitiveness of both the Port of Valencia and the port community. As part of the European MEDNET project, technological solutions have been developed and put in place at Valenciaport that use information and communication technologies to improve the status quo. At present, container terminals in Spanish ports are not required to notify customs of goods entering and exiting the terminal by land. The information is exchanged only between the operators involved in the process. Container terminals are obliged under Spanish law as of June 2015 to notify Spanish customs of containers entering their terminals by road or rail and leaving either by sea or by land transport. This applies to all containerized goods, even if their origin is in the customs territory of the community. Valenciaport Foundation has worked together with Spanish customs to help bring the port community systems in line with the new legislation. Thanks to Valenciaport's port community system, the Port of Valencia's terminals have been pioneers in the Spanish port system to relay information to customs of goods entering the terminal by land and leaving either by sea or by land, complying with the new regulations. This pilot scheme represents a significant improvement in terms of information sharing, providing greater traceability of goods. Apart from enhanced customs monitoring, one of the benefits obtained is the reduction of customs clearance times. Customs agents can present export declarations at any time, although customs accepts such declarations, assigning them to the green, orange or red circuits only after the containers are received in the terminals. The European Union regulates goods inspections in order to ensure that products from non-EU countries enter the EU market with the requisite guarantees. For sanitary and veterinary inspections, European regulations require the inspection of products arriving from non-EU countries and which are being transshipped if the goods spend the following specific periods of time in the terminal. Between 7 to 14 days if the goods are intended for import or are in transit to non-EU countries. More than 14 days if the goods are in transit through the EU and both the origin and destination countries are not European Union members. The European Union regulates the border inspection posts where these goods are inspected. The border inspection post facilities located in Valenciaport are some of the most innovative and modern in Europe, with over 70,000 inspections being carried out per year. The goods must comply with documentary requirements. The seal is checked in order to verify that the details of the cargo correspond with the data declared, and a physical check of the cargo is carried out by inspectors. These inspections are carried out by 3 different agencies, depending on the type of products to be examined. Foreign Health, which checks on plant or animal-related products for human consumption. Plant Health, which checks on plant-related products for human or non-human consumption for pest control purposes. And Animal Health, which checks on products for non-human consumption. SOIVRE is the official Spanish inspection service responsible for the monitoring of quality and industrial safety of all products. Once the inspection has finished, the official seal is put on the container and the cargo continues its route. If the cargo is rejected, there are three possibilities. The cargo will be destroyed, redispatched to its point of origin, or modified for other uses. At present, inspectors have to manually compile all of the information regarding containers and the goods they contain. They examine this information to establish whether the products have to be checked in accordance with the length of the container's stay in the port before being transshipped. These time-consuming, inefficient manual checks prevent officers from improving the throughput of inspections per day and also lead to an increase in the numbers of errors in the control process. As all the information required to identify the products which need to be checked is compiled in Valenciaport's port community system, the Valenciaport Foundation has developed a tracking solution which is integrated into this system. Through the agile use of information, this tracking solution identifies the products to be checked. The development of this tracking solution tool makes for greater reliability and faster processing by the inspection services at the Port of Valencia, quickly and effectively identifying the goods to be checked. Just by clicking and selecting certain criteria, we can find out for each container the number of days the container is in the port, the products it contains, whether it has been checked, and its origin, destination, and declaring agent. The tool allows inspectors to facilitate compliance with existing regulations. It reduces errors, time, and resources, thus improving the throughput of inspections per day at the border inspection post. Less-than-container load shipping, where different customers' goods share container space, plays an important role in international trade. Cargo is consolidated by freight forwarders called Non-Vessel Operating Common Carriers (NVOCCs). The customs documentation associated with the goods must be presented to customs in order to authorize the shipment. After the goods are received and warehoused, they are then consolidated into a container. Goods consolidated together in a container may be subject to different customs procedures for authorizing the shipment, which then leads to complex administrative procedures. One of the problems associated with consolidated container cargoes is the inadequate identification by customs systems. This produces difficulties when it comes to authorizing the shipment of the container. The NVOCC manually processes the documentation received from the customer and completes all the necessary information. The NVOCC then fills in the number of the container in which the goods have been consolidated and groups the customs documents of all items. A hard copy of this information is sent to the shipping company for them to check. The shipping company's customs representative will submit the documentation to the border guard office in person. The border guard officers manually check that all the goods within the container are properly released and authorizes the shipment. Manually processing this information is a waste of resources, a source of errors, and time-consuming. As part of the MEDNET project, the Valenciaport Foundation has developed an electronic system for customs documents integrated in the Valenciaport's port community system. All the information that NVOCCs enter via the Valenciaport's port community is displayed in real time by the border guard officers, facilitating the shipment authorization of the container. The tool developed by the Valenciaport Foundation optimizes port and logistics processes through a single data window, eliminating any problems stemming from the manual processing of information. The proposed solutions are an example of Valenciaport Foundation's work in promoting the introduction of information systems that facilitate and simplify port operations and customs procedures, with the aim of establishing a barrier-free European maritime space.